Hey you guys, welcome back or welcome to my YouTube channel. Now today I just wanted to talk about some random pop culture stuff, stuff that's been happening in the news, and just give my thoughts, give my take, whatever. So let's get into it. Now first I want to talk about Doja Cat. Now my last video I made was about Doja Cat and how she's been acting and how it's a huge turn off for me, and it's like, girl. And that video has gotten a lot of great reception. So if you've seen it, thank you. And if not, you should check it out. Okay? So check it out if you want to know my thoughts about Doja Cat. But apparently she came out with a new single. And I didn't know she was coming out with it I guess a couple of days ago. I don't know. But I just was scrolling on YouTube and it came up in my recommendation. I was like, oh, well, I'm curious. Let me listen to this. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. The song is catchy. More so, the hook and the chorus is catchy. Not gonna hold you. However, this song kind of makes me uncomfortable. And the only reason why this song makes me uncomfortable is because of the music video. Now, if you haven't seen the music video, you probably won't know what I'm talking about. But that music video is very dark, very demonic, and for no good reason. I feel like a music video for that song could have done way better than what she did, because it was just very distasteful. What made me the most uncomfortable was the scene where she's dressed in she's basically naked and she has these horns in her head. I'm like, girl, nah, I don't like that. I get so tired of celebrities doing this demonic imagery. It's so tired, it's so old, and it makes me uncomfortable. Why do y'all do that? Can y'all not think of something new? I don't know why she's promoting this imagery. It's not cute. Yeah. So that whole thing made me uncomfortable, and it's crazy how she was talking about Planet Her and Hot Pink were cash grabs, blah blah blah. If you like it, you're dumb. I'm done with pop music. She's saying all that. But does this song not sound like a song that will be on Planet Her? Or on Hot Pink? Come on. You doing all this talking for your music to sound the same. And it's fine if your music sound the same, but don't holler about people being dumb because they like your older songs. That's so silly. But yeah, the song ain't bad. Okay, it is catchy. Got a catchy hook, catchy chorus. I'm gonna give it that. However, the music video makes me very uncomfortable, and because of that, I can't really listen to the song without thinking of the video, because it's just too much. It's too much. And then Halle also came out with a song, her first single. And when I first listened to it, I actually really like it. It's actually a cute little, black girl anthem kind of thing. She wrote it when she was getting all that backlash about being the Disney princess, being Ariel, whatever. And it's a very good song. It has a very good message, and she was hitting them high notes, girl. She had a little Mariah Carey moment. Okay, I didn't know she could, do them little high notes like that. Okay. So yeah, I actually think the song is really good, and I'm glad that we finally have some more representation of black girls who aren't doing the most to get attention. What I mean by that is black girls who aren't doing gimmicks or doing the demonic stuff or twerking or being half naked. I'm so glad that we have some more black girls coming on the scene who aren't doing all that extra stuff, because you don't need to. If you're truly talented, you don't need to do all that extra stuff. But because the industry is the way it is, the people who get pushed are people who are super sexual, people who do the craziest stuff, people who are just silly. It's just annoying. What happened to the just people who can just sing, who don't have to do all the extra stuff? That's why I love music from the 90s and earlier, just because a lot of that time artists didn't have to do gimmicks or act crazy or do all that extra stuff to get attention. You could be ugly, but if you knew how to sing, they will push you. They will push you in the music scene. Now, you can't do that, girl. But yeah, Halle, I see it for Halle. Okay, she's gonna be a it girl. Like she's the Little Mermaid. She's doing a Color Purple movie. She's making music that's good. Like I'm proud. I'm proud. Like I'm like a proud mom. You know what I'm saying? But yes. So now I want to move on to the whole Lizzo stuff, girl. Okay, I would just preface this by saying I was never a Lizzo fan. Okay, nah. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Like the type of music she makes isn't for me. I don't. I would never listen to a Lizzo song on my own. Okay, that's no shade to her, but it's just it is what it is. And I also didn't really like her because she's always crying and whining on the internet. Like, y'all cannot lie. She does stuff for attention seeking. At least she used to a lot back in the day. Like, she would always be trying to seek attention by doing crazy stuff. Like, I remember, I think she was like twerking on a table or something, or like she had her bare butt cheeks out at a basketball game. Like, she just does stuff like that for attention and then cries that people are like giving her the attention, but it's not the type of attention she wants. So, because of that, it kind of turned me off of Lizzo. So, I never kept up with her. I never paid attention to her or none of that. But then it come out that her dancers are like suing her for like sexual assault and a hostile work environment, and she was fat shaming them. I'm like, girl, you the last person to be fat shaming anybody. But that's just also the point.
Not Lizzo! And not it being confirmed by her former creative director. Lizzo has been sued by 3 of her former dancers for alleged sexual harassment and creating a hostile work environment, including instances where they were weight shamed and pressured while at a strip club. From NBC News, 3 of Lizzo's former dancers have accused the singer of sexual harassment and creating a hostile work environment in a lawsuit filed Tuesday. They also allege that she pressured one of them to touch a nude performer at an Amsterdam club and subjected the group to an excruciating audition after leveling false accusations that they were drinking on the job. The dancers accused Lizzo, a performer known for embracing body positivity and celebrating her physique, of calling attention to one of the dancers' weight gain and later berating, then firing that dancer after she recorded a meeting because of a health condition. The suit, filed in LA Supreme Court and provided to NBC News by the plaintiff's law firm, also accuses the captain of Lizzo's dance team of proselytizing the other performers and deriding those who had premarital sex while sharing lewd sexual fantasies, stimulating oral, and publicly discussing the virginity of one of the plaintiffs. Proselytizing is pushing your religion on someone. And her former creative director backs these claims. For clarification, I'm not part of the lawsuit, but this was very much my experience and my time there. Big shout out to the dancers who had the courage to bring this to light. And then yet another dancer came forward as well. I haven't been a part of that world for around 3 years for a reason. I very much applaud the dancers' courage to bring this to light. And I grieve parts of my own experience.
You know, so it's very interesting and it's looking to be more believable because more people are coming out saying all the stuff Lizzo has done. Like saying that Lizzo was terrible to work with or Lizzo was rude and all that. There's been more people coming out saying that like Lizzo stole her boyfriend.
I first met Lizzo late 2016, 2017-ish. She and my boyfriend were co-hosting a show on MTV called Wonderland. And no, she wasn't very nice. She wasn't very nice to me. I knew she didn't like me, but the people around her were nice. Like her sister seemed nice. And I kind of ignored it because I felt like, well, you know, she's already like in this celebrity scene or whatever. So she probably just feels like she has better things to do than talk to me. And I just noticed that like even when we were just out to eat or at the beach or something, she still wasn't very nice to me. And it wasn't like a production thing like, oh, she's just really busy or whatever. She just didn't like me. She didn't say anything that was mean, but she was really like standoffish or like wouldn't talk to me. You know, like when I talked to her, it was kind of like, oh, okay, like get the fuck away from me. I don't want to talk to you. So yeah, I eventually found out that she and my boyfriend had something going on, ex-boyfriend. And that was that. I left the relationship. I mean, yeah, it was heartbreaking. I mean, I was with him for 10 years. I supported him through everything. And when he finally got a big break, he left me for Lizzo. It was really hard for my mental health. I went through a really difficult period of time trying to be okay with this because it wasn't just like, oh, I broke up with my boyfriend. It was like, oh, I broke up with my boyfriend and he left me for a person who wasn't very nice to me and turned out to be like after the fact, after we broke up, she became a Grammy award-winning celebrity and everybody in the world loves her and her message is like love and light and positivity after knowing how she treated me. But I didn't want to say anything because it made me sound like a whiny little baby or something. So I didn't broadcast that that was something that happened to me. Or when I did talk about it, I never named her because I just didn't feel like I would be supported or people would care, you know? Like people loved her. So why would I try to like drag her name or whatever? So I just silently went through something really big and really hard. It was like my fight or flight response was triggered every time I heard her song on the radio, or like if I went to the movies and like her song was in the trailer. It was so difficult and I cried for so long and I felt so depressed, and like I was in a really bad spot for years because of how this happened. And I know it wasn't her fault. It wasn't her fault. It was his fault. It was the way he handled it. She has no responsibility to me. But I think they could have both been a little more kind in the way that they chose to get together, you know? Like, he could have broken up with me, or she could have maybe suggested that he break up with me before they started something, because the text messages were something that I'll never be able to not see in my head. I think I'm feeling emotional right now because this is the first time I've ever been able to freely speak on it and feel like people will hear what I'm saying and not just like come at me for saying something about somebody that they really like. And it feels like this validation. And I try to be a good person, you know, I try to let things go, forgive, you know, just move on. But some things just stick with you until it gets lifted off of your spirit. And I feel like this is a moment where it's gotten lifted off of my spirit that she's not everything that she's been saying she is. And I've known that for a long time. But I tried to let it go. But now that it's coming to light, who she really is and how she really operates, it's just like vindication. It's like what I went through was real, and I don't have to be quiet about it anymore. I don't have to be embarrassed about it anymore. It's true. It's true. I've seen it. It's real, and now I can like put these feelings aside and just like really move on. I guess I never really thought I needed that, but I did. I'm realizing that I did. But the biggest takeaway is just be kind. Build your character and be kind. Operate from a place of love. Love yourself. And when you truly love yourself, that will extend itself to other people. Be the same person outside as you are in privacy behind closed doors. Don't try to build yourself up in a fake persona. Just because people say the right things or put on the public displays of humanitarianism or I care about you, and you know, like people love hearing those things, but what we're really not looking at is how people actually live their lives. And it's okay to get those motivational moments or those inspirational messages from people. Take the message, apply it to yourself. You're smart. You know what's right and what's true for you. So take those things and let them make you a better person, but don't ever idolize messengers. Do not ever idolize messengers. You do it for yourself. You figure those things out for yourself. You set your course. You set your path. You do the things that you believe in. And don't think that just because someone else is saying it, that they're better than you or anything like that. We're all human. Don't forget that.
There was another girl coming out saying that Lizzo stole her music video ideas and all this type of stuff. So
process for Lizzo's Watch Out for the Big Girl season 1. And I was in the finals. I got all the way through the stages. It was a lot. There was many steps. You had to do your dance audition videos. You had to send them your whole life story. You met with Lizzo's team. I did a whole interview with them too. And it was an amazing journey. And I was so excited when they presented me with the final agreement and they were planning my flights. Upon getting the agreement, I read through it with my family. I have some lawyers in my family, and they highly advised that I do not sign that agreement. It basically wanted to own you. It wanted to have your life story for eternity. It wanted to own the rights of anything that you put out, etc., etc. And I'm an independent music artist, so I was highly advised not to sign it. We did end up giving them some red lines. And unfortunately, they gave me a call and told me that all the other girls were signing this agreement and they could not give me special treatment by applying my red lines, and that they wouldn't be able to move forward with me. So It was a really, really hard call for me. I was on the floor sobbing. I thought that that was like my big break, and I just ruined it by not signing that agreement. During the process of when I sent everything over to the audition team and Lizzo's team, I sent 2 of my music videos. One's called Better With You, and one is for my song called Paint Me. And they're both original works of mine. So in this clip from my video, Better With You, I'm in a detention classroom, and I turned this classroom into a disco. We're in the 1970s here, yes. We got the disco ball, I got my dancers behind me, we are doing our thing, you get the vibes here. Then Lizzo drops About Damn Time, we are in a classroom, this is April 2022, chalkboard that she turns into a disco, and of course she has a way bigger budget than me. Here she is with her dancers doing their thing with the disco ball, we're in the 70s, and of course when I saw this, I was just a little bit confused. I thought maybe it's just a coincidence.
I was like, girl, Lizzo, this is not looking good for you. And then she came out with an apology or like a statement, and it didn't do anything for me.
These last 2 days have been gut-wrenchingly difficult and overwhelmingly disappointing. My ethics, my morals, and my respectfulness have been questioned. My character has been criticized. Usually I choose not to respond to false allegations, but these are as unbelievable as they sound and too outrageous not to be addressed. I am so sorry, Lizzo, but these allegations don't really sound that unbelievable. These sensationalized stories are coming from former employees who have already publicly admitted that they were told their behavior on tour was inappropriate and unprofessional. I am not here to be looked at as a victim, but I also know that I'm not the villain that people in the media have portrayed me to be these last few days. I'm very open with my sexuality and expressing myself, but I cannot accept or allow people to use that openness to make me out to be something I'm not. There is nothing I take more seriously than the respect we deserve as women in the world. I know what it feels like to be body shamed on a daily basis and would never criticize or terminate an employee because of their weight. As an artist, I've always been very passionate about what I do. I take my music and my performances seriously because at the end of the day, I only want to put out the best art that represents me and my fans. With passion comes hard work and high standards. Sometimes I have to make hard decisions, but it's never my intention to make anyone feel uncomfortable or like they aren't valued as an important part of the team. I'm hurt, but I will not let the good work that I've done in the world be overshadowed by this. I want to thank everyone who has reached out in support to lift me up during this difficult time. I mean, I just think this is all so very interesting considering the fact that these employees that were terminated due to bad behavior were not the only people who have come out to speak out against Lizzo since the lawsuit was filed. I have multiple videos about this on my page if you want to go check it out. Both Lizzo's former creative director and Lizzo's former dancer have spoken out about her, and they're not even part of the lawsuit, so like, what do they have to gain from this? Also, this comes just a day after Miss Sophia Allison, a director who was supposed to be helping Lizzo direct her documentary, spoke out against Lizzo as well. She said on Instagram, to be clear, since I've spoken out, I've had others privately share their very similar experiences, and I have also been affirmed by people who witnessed what I went through. Lizzo creates an extremely toxic and hostile working environment that undermines the work, labor, and authority of other Black and brown women in the process. Notice how the documentary ended up being directed by a cis white man. She is a narcissistic bully and has built her brand off of lies. I was excited to support and protect a Black woman through the documentary process, but quickly learned her image and message was a curated facade. I stand with the dancers and anyone who has had similar experiences working with her and her team. These working conditions are not okay. Absolutely insane, and I don't think Lizzo's going to be able to get herself out of this one. Let me know what y'all think.
Like, it wasn't giving at all. And she kind of glossed over the sexual assault like allegations, so that was a pretty big part of the case. So the fact that you barely mentioned it, that's interesting. So I honestly don't know what else to say about the situation because, I'm gonna just let the court of law deal with that. If they find her guilty, then she need to apologize and she need to make things right, whether it's with money, whatever. I don't know. It don't got nothing to do with me, but girl, this is not looking good for you. This is not looking good for you. I also wanted to add that Saweetie has recently came out with like 2 singles, like Birthday and Shot O'Clock or something. And golly, those songs are not good at all. Literally not good. And that's the thing, I liked Saweetie in the beginning. Like, she had some cute little bops in the beginning, right? But now the music's it's just not good. Even her last EP, I gave that a listen because, everybody was talking about how it didn't sell that well and all that. So I'm like, let me give it a chance. Let me listen to it. And I disliked every single song. And it's like, girl, come on now. Let's do better with this, okay? yeah, it's just not giving. Saweetie just probably needs to stick with, being an influencer or something, because this rap thing isn't working out for her. And the thing is, she used to be good. Like, she used to have little cute rap songs, but now it's just like none of it's good. None of it's catching on. Like, nobody really likes it. So it's time for Saweetie to rethink like what's going on with her music. Okay, she either needs a new team, or I don't know, because it's just not giving. But yeah, you guys, that's really all I wanted to talk about in this video. Let me know your comments down below. Let me know your thoughts about Doja, Halle, Lizzo, whatever. But thank you for watching. Bye.